EACC Math Lesson number 17, Multiplying Polynomials. Today specifically we're going to look at two methods when we multiply, or things we need to use when we multiply. One's the distributive property, and the second is this little acronym FOIL, which specifically applies to multiplying a couple of binomials together. First, let's look at some terms here. A polynomial comes from the Greek meaning many terms. A term is a number, a variable, or a product of numbers and variables. So a term could just be the number 3, or it could be the letter A, or it could be 3A. Okay. A monomial is a single term polynomial. So each of these up here are all monomials. They're single terms. A binomial is a sum or difference of two monomials. So if I have 3a minus 1, that's a binomial. Notice that it has two terms. And finally, a trinomial, a sum or difference of three monomials. So it's going to have three terms. So you'll usually see it written something like this: x squared minus 4x plus 1. All right, so let's look at some examples here. First one, using our distributive property, suppose we have negative 3 and we want to multiply that with 4x squared plus 2x minus 5. All right, the distributive property itself says that multiplication distributes over adding and subtracting. What that means is that you want to multiply everything inside the parentheses by the number that's out there. So in this case we have a negative 3, so we got to watch our signs. So we're going to get a negative 12x squared, a minus 6x, and then negative 3 times negative 5 is a positive 15. Another example, 2x squared times 5x to the 6th minus 16x cubed. Well, again, we're going to distribute this 2x squared. So 2x squared times 5x to the 6th is going to give me a 10x, and remember we add those exponents together, x to the 8th, and 2x squared times negative 16, x to the 3rd is going to give me a negative 32, and then adding the exponents together, x to the 5th power. All right, so that's your distributive property. Multiplication distributes over adding and subtracting. All right, next we want to look at multiplying binomials. And I've got this little word or acronym written out here, FOIL. What that stands for is first, outside, inside, last. Just gives you a little way of remembering. So let's look at an example here. Suppose we have x plus 3, and we want to multiply that with x minus 5. Well, using our acronym, first means first times first. So x times x is x squared. Outside, so x times negative 5 is a negative 5x. Inside, so 3 times x is a positive 3x. And last, 3 times negative 5 is a negative 15. Now what's going to happen in most cases, these middle terms are going to be alike, so you can combine them. So I have x squared, and that's going to give me a minus 2x and a minus 15. Okay, let's look at another example. Suppose we have 2x minus 1, and we want to multiply that with 3x plus 2. Well, again, using my FOIL, first, 2x times 3x is a 6x squared. Outside, 2x times positive 2 is a positive 4x. Inside, negative 1 times 3x is a negative 3x. And my last, negative 1 times 2 is a negative 2. Combining my like terms here in the middle, then, I get 6x squared plus 1x, we don't need to write the 1, and then minus 2. Okay, so I don't think it's anything new for any of you. I think you've had to multiply these binomials before. So just remember, first, outside, inside, last if you want to. If you don't want to even think of that, you can just think of using the distributive property twice. Okay, well, you've got some problems in front of you. Go ahead and work those through. If you have any questions, please let me know. And for now, I'm going to look at some calculus here. Woo! Look at this baby right here. That's the definition of the limit, or finding the derivative, finding the limit as h approaches 0 of function x plus h minus f of x all over h. And if you ever get to pre-calc, you'll learn where that comes from. As for now, I'll see you later, because this is the end.